Smaller churches have access to one of the most important features on social media.
And the smaller your church is, the more valuable this feature is.
This approach to social can be truly transformative to your church, and if you're a bigger church, you don't have access to this.
Let's dive in.
Well, hey there, and welcome to the Pro Church Tools Show. We're here to help you and your church navigate the biggest communication shift in 500 years. I'm Brady Shearer, your host. I'm joined as always by my co-host. We call him the Shepherd of the Chicane. It's Alexander Mouse.
Hello, hello.
On last week's episode, we talked about, historically, the two social media metrics I have cared about the most, that being followers and individual post metrics. And we discussed how instead of tracking those, as they are no longer really representative of what we're trying to achieve on social, we should exchange those two metrics for two other ones. At the end of that episode, we culminated with this tease for the current episode, that if you're just getting tired of social, if you had enough of the changes, if you're like, you know what, enough, no more, we were gonna introduce a brand new way of doing social specific to smaller churches. The smaller the better, in fact, on this episode. To lay the foundation for this, we have to understand how we've arrived at this moment in time on social media. So, one of the realities of this current era, which we call the discovery era, that is marked by the fact that you don't see on your feed the people that you choose to follow. You see content related to your personal interests, your viewing habits, and your local geographic location. What this has translated to for creators like us as churches is the reality that we do not have an entitlement to the feeds of our followers.
Right.
And what this has meant is that time-sensitive updates on social are not really a viable strategy. In fact, that's not even saying it strongly enough. Not only are they not viable, it is like the worst thing that you can do.
Yeah, it has negative effect. Yeah.
Right. Negative aura, frankly. So what this led to, and our recommendation, dating back to, as early as 2018 with TikTok, but really like coming out of the pandemic, like 22, 23, is that we need to create content that could reach as broad of an audience as possible. Because the paradox was, okay, if we can't reach our followers predictably, we now have to create content that could be accessible to as many people as possible. And the paradox is, the more viral you reach in this sense, the more local that you end up reaching. Because if there is a local element to discovery algorithms, if I can reach 10,000 people and 2% are local, well, that's more local people than if I reach 100 people and 10% are local. And so this led to this diagram, the social ministry mountain, where we basically walked churches through the stages of effectiveness on social. The baseline, no weeks off. Find that sustainable publishing rhythm. From there, viral for me posts. We said like 1 to 3% of your posts are gonna hit this qualifier. What is viral for me? 10x reach of a normal post.
Right.
So if you normally reach 1,000 people, a viral for me post would be one that reaches 10,000. What that would be illustrative of is your church reaching new audiences and growing. The more of those that we stockpile, the sooner we can hit the next layer we call the 10x growth rate. 4% monthly growth on social. That compounds and adds up over 5 years to 10x growth. 1,000 followers today, 10,000 followers in 5 years. And for 24, 36, 48 months, this was the best strategy on social. You could reach your followers. You could also grow your church. You could introduce your church to new people, which was amazing. Here's the problem. Growth rate on social has slowed considerably. We talked about this via a study from Buffer in last week's episode. The reason that growth rate has slowed so much is because the supply versus demand ratio has become dramatically imbalanced, where there's so much content and not enough eyeballs that are consuming that content. In the Buffer study, they stated that if you were publishing 10 plus posts per week, which is like not realistic for most churches.
Yeah, it's so many posts per week.
And 10 plus doesn't just mean like checking the box, like 10 good posts. You could expect a 0.66% follower growth rate. So for example, if you had 5,000 followers and we're posting 10 plus times per week, you could expect 33 more followers per week. Now, if you recall, on the social ministry mountain, what was the growth rate percentage that I was saying was what we were trying to achieve?
10x.
Which is 4%.
Yeah.
Not 0.66%. 4% was something we saw with churches all the time in the past 24, 36, and 48 months. But now We have not seen that. And we're seeing here from Buffer this Instagram-wide study, which was 100,000 plus accounts and 2 million individual posts, that it's not just like, oh, churches, like this is like universal.
Yeah.
What has this led to?
Despair.
Yes, it has led, well, to social media fatigue,
Yes.
let's call it, amongst the people that work in church on social, where you're like, and I see this with my own content, like I know I'm publishing content that is just as good. It's actually better.
It's better, yeah.
But it is not producing the same fruit. So what this means is we're putting in a ton of effort in the past 12 months for a smaller harvest relative to 21, 22, 23, 24.
Yeah, and that's discouraging, like just plainly said.
Yes. So where do we go from here?
To the woods.
Okay.
You ever heard of
Go.
ever heard of becoming a Luddite?
Okay, father fungi, go pick up your mushrooms.
Hey, this is all about playing within the rules of the landscape, right? Like we've charted the history of the social graph era where you could post time sensitive. If your church service was going to be canceled because of weather, you could post it to Instagram and know that like the people who follow your church on social are going to see it and not come to church. And then the rules changed. The algorithm changed and started ranking posts based off all these different metrics. And so we changed our efforts. We encourage churches to change our efforts on social, and some churches did, and some churches didn't. Pardon me. Now the rules have changed again, where we are in a new era where there is just too much supply compared to the demand on social, and so we have to evolve or refine, reform our strategies within kind of the confines of just the reality of the space that we're putting this content into. And so, it can lead to, and we joke, but also it is discouraging to put in our case, and a lot of churches we work with, the highest quality, the most effort you've ever put in, resulting in the highest quality posts you've ever posted, and to not see the results that you're expecting to see. That is discouraging, but there is a path forward.
Yeah. And a lot of us have warm memories of the previous era of social. The idea that you could publish inclement weather and people would see it. It's like, oh yeah, the good old times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Time-sensitive updates not working in this era of social because we are not entitled to the real estate on our followers' feeds. The question is, what if we were? What if? What if we were? What are you getting at? What are you getting at? This is where small churches have a massive advantage. And the smaller you are, the greater the advantage is. Hence, why I put the word tiny in the title of this episode. What is the advantage? What does a church have over a creator like me? You have an in-person assembly every single week of your congregation. I don't have that. I have a podcast.
Yeah.
And you guys come and watch, listen to the podcast. We don't meet on Sundays. Your church does. And so what this means is we can leverage this group into shaping social platforms in our image.
Right. Thanks be to God.
Yes. Because as these platforms have evolved, there are a variety of different mechanisms for using them in different ways. So the strategy we're about to outline, which I think will come as like a rejoicing, like resounding good news for a lot of churches. It's not that this strategy was impossible in the past 12, 24, 36 months. It's that the opportunity was so great in the form of free reach that we were like, take what the platforms give you. And so the metaphor that I've been using when I've talked to churches about this individually is like, let's imagine you and I were in a car together and we were talking about like, okay, we're going to drive to this destination. And we had two paths. We can take the highway or we can take the scenic route. The scenic route is like preferred. We would get to see like way more beautiful landscape, take our time, stop at like a pie stand on the way.
Love it.
Sounds great. The problem is like, it's going to take 2 hours longer and it's a 1 hour drive. It's just not worth it. Sure, we'll take the highway. Except I just found out that there was an accident on the highway. And so now it's not actually faster to go that way. So now might as well take the scenic route.
There we go.
And that is an imperfect analogy and metaphor for what's happening on social right now. Because the previous opportunity was, yes, we get it. You can't reach your church directly. And ideally, we would use these social platforms as broadcast platforms. They're not that anymore. They are media syndication platforms.
Yeah, you're not getting a pie today.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're going to reach people that follow you. You're going to reach just as many, if not more, of people that don't follow you. Some will be local, but a lot won't be. That's how it is. Good luck. Okay, we're going to shape our strategy around that. Well, now I'm not even reaching new people. 1 to 3% of my posts being viral for me, that's not happening anymore. A 4% growth rate, That's not happening anymore unless you are outperforming the averages.
Yeah.
Before, we weren't telling churches like you have to do dramatic stuff. We're like, just post regularly and social will give you free distribution. I was getting DMs every single week. Oh my gosh, this many million views on a post. Oh my goodness, 3,000 new followers overnight. And they have become less and less. Because when an opportunity like that exists, that is that great, everyone rushes to the platform. When a highway, you can drive that fast, we're all on the highway. Guess what's happening now? Traffic jam. Not so fast anymore. Oh, metaphor, not so bad. Evolving in real time. So, Instagram does have a mechanism for reaching your followers every single time. Did you know this?
I didn't actually.
Really? So you don't use this personally?
No, not at all.
Oh.
And it's interesting because it's why I don't scroll my Instagram feed anymore. Rebecca and I were just talking about this the other day, about how on Instagram, we literally don't scroll on the feed. We just go there for stories because we know that, and the story, we've talked about this on the show, the story algorithm is independent from the feed. Not that they don't relate to each other, but there's different signals and different...
Stories is mostly for people you know in real life.
Yeah, and so when I go on Instagram, I swipe through stories of people that I know in real life. I see their kids or whatever, and then I leave the platform. But now that I know that this feature exists, and I have the power to curate my actual feed the way I want and guarantee that anytime Brady posts, well, maybe it won't be Brady who makes it into my feed.
You don't need to be.
but like anytime that somebody...
It's just me telling you about this strategy. You're like, you already made me sit and listen to him for an hour.
Anytime somebody that I follow posts, I can guarantee that I'm going to see that post in my feed. That might shape the way that I interact with this platform, and surely with the content that the folks that I choose to follow, there's 400 and something of them, the way I interact with their content kind of evolves.
Yeah, so I did this on my feed about 2 years ago. Yeah,
it's not a new feature.
I follow 426 people, and that was still too many people.
Yes.
Not to mention that most of my feed, let's say 2/3 or more, was not those 426 people.
Right, recommended posts, ads.
Yeah, and there were, let's say, 10 to 15 in there that I was like, I really always want to see what they publish. So what you can do is you can go to a person's account and you can click add to favorites. This will give them this little green star. And when you have selected that account as add to favorites, they will always show at the top of your feed when they publish new content.
So you get to tell Instagram, I want to see this content from this person, and Instagram will say, okay.
And I am asking all of you listening to do that with my content. But guess what? That's not going to work.
Right.
There's too many of you. And I'm not asking you face to face. I'm not asking you in a room. I'm asking you in a podcast. You chuckle. You're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're a church of 65 people,
that's right,
and you have every single person in a room every week, you can actually get them to do this. And so what we've created for you that you can find in the podcast description, in your listening app of choice, or on the YouTube description, is a pre-service slide and an announcement slide that has a visual of what it actually looks like to click on an account and add to favorites. Download the slide. And then here is what we are going to do, okay? We are going to make an announcement in church about this. We're going to put the slide on the screen, and we are going to ask the people in our church to add us to favorites as an announcement. We are going to run the pre-service slide. We are going to run a contest where we say, if you add us to favorites, you will be eligible for a $25 gift card to the Mexican restaurant that everyone loves, the local one, okay? And then, over the next 4 weeks, you're gonna talk to every single person in the lobby and be like, hey, you know that contest? Did you add us to favorites? And they're gonna...
Give me your phone, I'll do it for you.
Yeah, I'll do it for you right now. Because you can do that.
Yes.
In the same way, you will go to those people and be like, hey, we need a volunteer for kids ministry.
That's
you
right.
in? And they're like, yeah, I'm in. The same exact thing. And the great thing about this is once it's been done once, it never gets undone. People don't go in and remove you from favorites. I never removed anyone from favorites. What happened was, now I just have like these 8 people that are just always on my feed. And some of them, like, I'm just like, they're just there now. I just always see their content. I don't even know if I like their content. It's just always there. and I'm not mad about
You're not friends with those people anymore.
I'm not in love with it. I'm not mad at it. It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
In parallel with this, you are also going to start a broadcast channel. And the contest will run in both ways. Add to favorites and then join the broadcast channel. A broadcast channel is another mechanism that Instagram allows that gives you the ability to communicate directly to a group of people, and then they will see that in their stories, because this is what we also know is true. Or they'll see it in their DMs.
Right.
People like Alex, they don't go on Instagram to see the feed. Maybe that's going to change once he starts curating. They go to see their stories. they go into their direct messages.
Yep.
Broadcast channels show up in direct messages. And the algorithms for DMs and stories are distinct from the algorithms for the feed and for Reels. And so if we can get our 65 people in a broadcast channel and we can get a good percentage of those 65 people to add us to favorites, what has this done? It has shaped Instagram into the image of our church, and it has now given us direct, predictable access to those people when we want. And now our content strategy is wide open.
Totally. Now you have the freedom to post time-sensitive things if you care to or you need to. If service is canceled for whatever reason, you have your 65 folks there in the broadcast channel. And sure, you can still send out an email. You can still do all the other things. But you know that guaranteed those people who have accepted your invite or who have added you to favorites, they are very likely to see that post. Whereas if you choose not to do this strategy, you have removed Instagram as an avenue to communicate with people in this way. So it really does kind of open up the field for what you can do with your communication strategy with the folks who actually forget about the discovery algorithm and the potential to reach new folks. These are the folks who follow you and say like, and who actually show up on a Sunday and say, I belong to this church, not just digitally, but like incarnationally. Now you've harnessed Instagram at where we know so many folks in your church are already spending their time. They're using it as a communication tool. Now you've opened it up as a tool at your church's disposal to talk to them in ways and about things that if you don't use the strategy, it will just fall on deaf ears.
Absolutely. Now, does this mean that we want to go straight back to using our Instagram like a bulletin board, where every single post is like a graphic about an upcoming event? Like maybe, but I would still not suggest that. We talk about the principle of congruency and how we want our online platforms to reflect in person. And so what does your in-person service have? It has worship. It has got community, rubbing shoulders in the lobby with people that attend your church. It has announcements and it has a sermon. So I would still do sermon reels. I would still create these little standalone moments where the wisdom of Scripture is shared, and it has a compelling hook at the beginning, because even if that is going to automatically come across a person's feed, we still want to compel them to stop scrolling. They're going to see it. That's step number one, but we still need to compel them to stop scrolling and engage with it. I would include photos of church life, because you want people to see the space that they attend on the weekend and the people that they rub shoulders with, and remind them that when the saints are scattered, they are still part of this church family. And then, you can absolutely work in promotional content as well. What did we used to say about promotional content? The 1 in 5 rule. The 1 in 5 rule basically said that so long as your promotional posts do not exceed 20%, 1 out of every 5 posts, you are not going to exhaust your followers' attention. What that eventually became was the 0 in 5 rule. Because social became so competitive that if you promoted at all, the content was just going to reach basically no one. So what did we start talking about? Sprinkle promotions, where the substance of the post was the core ingredient, and then you had a little sprinkle, a little garnish on the top of the promotion at the end. That is still the best way to promote on social, unless you've gone through this process and achieved this this is like, if you're a church and you do this is like when you achieve financial freedom, where you're like, I have enough money in the bank that I don't have to work again. Like that's like what you've achieved here. So if you achieve this, you no longer have to follow those rules. But behavior on social and what people prefer is still not going to change. Now, you're going to have a lot more leeway than a regular account.
Totally.
So if you want to push promotions to be like every other post, you do 1 sermon clip a week and you have like 1 photo of people in your church, and then you have 2 promos, and those are the 4 posts that you publish each week. And this is what we do. Great. That's like kind of congruent. It's like a little more announcements than like in-person services, but like that's kind of congruent with an in-person service. And I think that would be totally acceptable. And then you can also do the direct promos inside of the broadcast channel.
Yes.
If you need post strategies and ideas, we also have a ton of episodes on this. So if you're like, okay, I know I'm going to promote, maybe I want to do sermon reels, maybe I want to do carousels, love that as well, repurpose sermon content into a carousel. Like for the churches that we're working with at Social Sermons, it's not like we're sending them like different content. We're like, hey, if you want to do this, go through it. We'll send you the same content. And guess what? Now you can promote again. So when we queue up the content in the scheduler for your sermon reels and your carousels and all that stuff, if you want, you can put like 2 or 3 promotional posts also in the calendar. Where before we were like, yeah, you really shouldn't do that. Like it's probably going to hurt your strategy overall. Post the podcast we've done in the past. These are the titles to look up. Why your church's Instagram stories flop. The Busy Pastor's Guide to Instagram Stories. 20 church social media ideas you've never tried. Steal these 15 church social media posts for summer. Spoiler alert, any season is fine. The 2025 church social media calendar, and then steal these viral hooks church social media edition.
That one's got a bonus download. 63 viral hooks that we've tried and tested from real churches. You can download and kind of use them as a template.
Yeah. So think about this new phenomenon, this new paradigm, what it could mean for churches. If you're feeling the social media fatigue, if you've like just had enough of creating the posts, because in the past 12 months, you haven't seen the fruit. You know, you're putting in the effort, but like this harvest is getting smaller and smaller. And you're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. There's another opportunity. There's another option. And if you are a church, average sized, 50 to 125, you can absolutely leverage this. Do the work once. Run the contest, ask people face to face, run the pre-service slide, do the announcements, get people in a broadcast channel, get people to add your church to favorites. You do that once over a 1 month period, and you can decouple yourself from this hamster wheel if it feels like you're stuck on it.
Yeah.
And you can like re-enter, not even re-enter like the old paradigm. You have invented a new social media paradigm that is unique to churches because only a church could pull this off.
I don't think this is a big ask. Like as someone who pastors a small church and who also is responsible for the social media accounts at our church, I don't think this is a big ask of folks, especially if you pair it with a contest to like win a $25 gift card to the local restaurant. That's easy. But folks want to see, folks who belong to your church, they want to see what you're posting. And I know this to be true because if there's one thing about social media that really rubs me the wrong way, it's missing out on announcements of new music. So Friday morning is like the best morning of the week to me because I get to go into Apple Music and I get to see, what artist that I follow or that I listen to regularly has released new music today. It's just the modern rhythm of how we release music now. It's Friday mornings, right?
Yep.
And the thing that drives me crazy is when somebody releases new music, the Apple Music algorithm fails me. They don't show it. And then I see it like weeks later on Instagram and I'm like, how did I not see this? I love your music. You're an artist I follow. I want to know when you're releasing new music. I don't want to miss that. I want to see your content. But thanks to the discovery algorithm gods, I never see any of that stuff.
Because that's promotional.
Right.
So they're not going to show that to people.
Exactly. And so in the same way, I think your church members, the people who actually show up in body, in person on Sundays, like they want to know when the next potluck meal is. They want to know these things. They don't want to have that feeling of either missing out. That's like the most regrettable. It's like missing something altogether, or finding out last minute to be like, oh, I wish I would have known. I've heard that from folks at our church. I forget what the exact circumstance was, but someone came to me and they're like, I wish I would have known. And I was able to say like, oh, but we did this, and this. And they're like, yeah, but I didn't see it. So folks really want to see the stuff you're posting. It's not a big ask to say, hey, like to come to this conversation with that kind of assumption that folks want to see. And it's like, I know this is what you want, so this is how to get it.
Yeah, and think about like the behavior that you had to create. On Friday, you, an act of your own volition, go to Apple to see them summarize all the new music.
And put my faith in their algorithm to show me the stuff.
And the same thing happens to me on Spotify. I go to my release radar, which is like mine, and like sometimes a song I'd expect to be there is not.
Right. It's like
it's imperfect.
Yes.
And then the artist is like, okay, I'm going to send an email to my list. I'm going to post on social, and no one saw anything. Great. Okay, so this is just a broken system.
Yeah.
And if the goal is to promote, then yes, it's just not made for that anymore. But what's amazing is that unlike an artist who it's just not realistic to ask their 300,000 fans, please add to favorites. Because guess what is also going to happen then? You're going to get a bunch of tour updates that are just like, okay, well, I don't live in Glasgow.
Right.
And so it's just tough luck for them.
Yeah.
But for churches, we can leverage our in-person assembly. It's something that is unique to us that nobody else has.
That's right.
In the same way we have the advantage of senior leaders creating sermons every single week, we have the advantage of assembly. Well, restaurants are in person. Yeah, but like not everyone goes to the restaurant at the same time. Like, if you can't tell, like, this really excites me because I've been sitting on this idea for about like 90 days and I've been like thinking about all the different like ways to make it work. And I finally got a few pieces of the puzzle to make it like all come together. And because I have heard the cries from churches like, I don't know if like this discovery era is for me. And churches almost always are like, okay, like we're gonna do it. We're gonna like make it happen and make it work. And for like 3 years, it was just this glorious period of like, oh my gosh, we are growing. So many people are seeing our content. People are coming to church. And then in a world where that is the reality, everyone starts doing it. Not just churches, but every industry. Oh my gosh, they're just giving out free reach, free distribution. Traditional media wouldn't give you a single set of eyeballs as free distribution.
Yeah.
Social's like, you want 1 million people? Come on down.
Yeah.
Why not? And then we all come here, and then eventually it's like the cable bill. It's like, oh, your promotional rate has gone up.
Yes.
It's like, I was paying $8 a month. Well, it's $800 now. Sorry, that's just best I can do is $800.
Yes.
And so that's where we're at now. A lot of people don't have an out. Your church has an out if you are a smaller ministry. If you're a larger church, you have other advantages. This is not meant to be woe is me. All the stuff that we've been talking about with sprinkle promotions, that is so viable. Guess what? That's all I do. Go back to last week's episode where we talk about views per day, where we talk about publishing volume. If you're a bigger church, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you're a bigger church, you can publish 10 plus posts per week, which is going to maximize your views per post. And if you do a sprinkle promotion on every single post and you're getting thousands of views per day because you can do the volume, because you have the team and the staff and you can build the workflows to do it, smaller churches can't do that.
Yeah.
So this is not meant to be like if you're a big church being like, man, I really wish I could do this. Yeah, you know you could, but you're not going to get 3,000 people to click add to favorites.
Right.
And you're not going to talk to 3,000 people. And that means you're just not going to have the buy-in from those people because the dynamics of the church are different. That's how it is. My church is a couple thousand people. That's not going to work for us. We're not going to get them all to add to favorites. It's just not going to happen. Alice's church, around the corner, he has access to this.
Yeah.
Praise God for the tiny churches.
Hey, make sure you download we made this pre-service slide. You don't have to customize it at all. Literally download it and upload it to ProPresenter or Presenter, as we know.
Or
free
free show.
Free show,
Free
also.
show,
Free
yes.
alternative. And use the creative that we've already kind of mocked up for you. It's ready to go.
And when you've done this, let us know how it goes. Let us know how it has changed social in your church.
Do you have any new testimonials? Because we're not getting oh my goodness, I got 1 million views.
8 people saw my reel. Praise God. No, 8 people of our church of 65 signed up for this thing because they all saw it on social.
Yeah.
That is what we want to hear. And what we want is for you to return. Next week, we'll be back. Thanks for your time, attention, and trust. See you next Wednesday.
It's podcast.
All right. Allegedly.
Coffee on the table?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, we're just here to be honest. Look, this is, there's a little spillage on that side. We
Yes.
got to clean that up.
Yeah, we're going to look like idiots.